welcome to a brand new Wednesday Wow on the Jensory YouTube channel. My name's Jen, for anybody that's tuning in for the first time. I'm a special needs teacher and I'm ready to share some lovely nature bottles with you, ready for our Wednesday Wow today. As always, I will put up the resource list now on the screen so you know what you need for this activity, and then we'll get started. Now, I've been out on a nature walk for this activity, and I think that's a really lovely way of being able to gather some of the resources that you need for this activity. So I've picked up some of these lovely bits. I've got some flowers here that I got from a meadow, I've got some leaves, I've got some little reeds that we find, I've got buttercups, I've got daisies, lots of lovely things that we can put in our bottles. I've also got some just fake flowers, some fake daisies that we can put in as well, and a collection of loads of bottles that I've just had lying around. So one's from an orange juice bottle, there's a couple of bath foam ones as well. Now, I did put on the list originally about baby oil, but I couldn't get any, so I'm using vegetable oil, and for that reason I've got a jug here of yellow water just to match the vegetable oil, and we're going to do a nice sunshiny yellow bottle that we can use. Now, I know a lot of you will probably be familiar with sensory bottles. They're sometimes called calm down bottles or regulation bottles as well, and they're a lovely visual stimulus for our learners to look at and watch. There's also a lot of research as well about being able to visually watch things that are slow moving and how that can actually help us regulate our breathing when we're watching it. So if you've got children or learners at home with autism or sensory processing disorder, it might be quite a nice way of just calming them down if they're in a high state of stress as well. Now, as I say, in a lot of my activities, it's often more about the journey than it is about the end result, and this is definitely one of those things as well. So whilst we are going to have these beautiful sensory bottles to play with and look at the end, it is actually about the journey, and this goes right back from our nature walk and talking to our children and our learners about what they can find, even if you just go into the garden or any outdoor space and just pick up things that you find with your children and talk to them about what they found. That's a really nice activity in its own right. And then they've got ownership over what they're putting into their bottle as well. So if your learners are able, get them involved in putting things into the bottle. I've put some scissors here as well, so you can cut down the things that you've got, so we're actually getting our fine motor skills up there and our scissor skills up if your child or learner is ready for that. But they can do a lot of choice making here about what they want to put in their bottle. If you've got PMLD learners, again, it's still about the journey of what they're choosing. So this can be a really lovely activity for communicating preferences. So you can get some of your stimuli, rub it over their hands. Do they like it? Do they not like it? And then you can essentially create a bottle of all of the things that they like, which is a really nice way of doing communication with your children or learners. If you're using flowers that have a really strong scent to them as well, you can use that with your PMLD learners and see if they like that and don't like it. Again, it's about the sensory exploration of the stimuli as much as it is putting it into the bottle itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put some bits into the bottle. I'm going to use the yellow water and this empty bottle. I've also got here as well just some other bottles that I've kind of pre-prepared. This one is one of the ones that I've already used for the water theme week, and I think the pirate week potentially as well. And I have just put a little bit of blue food colouring in that, and I think a little bit of fairy liquid as well, just to create a few bubbles. And even moving it already, we've got a lovely visual stimulus to start us off with that one. Similarly with this one, this was a bath foam bottle, and it had just a tiny bit of bath foam in it, and I literally just filled it up, and it's created a really nice pearlised effect in that one as well. So that's a really nice effect, so I'd highly recommend that. That was a nice discovery that I had this week. Now, the one I'm going to make now is going to be sort of half water, half oil. The reason I say about using oil is that it just slows down the movement. You can just use water with these. They create a really nice effect on their own just with water. But if you use oil, as I say, it will just slow down the stimuli in the bottle and create just a slightly calmer effect when you're watching it. Half yellow water, half vegetable oil with this, and already it's created a beautiful, almost crystallized effect with the oil sitting on top of the water. And you can shake those up as well, which is another skill that's really nice for children to be able to do, to hold on to it and give it a good shake. But I'm going to add some of the natural resources that I've got here, and then we'll have a look to see what the effect is. Now, like I've said, it's actually quite a calming activity and a regulating activity to just do on its own. We're isolating our fingers. Again, you want to encourage your children to choice make about what they want to put into the bottle. Once you've made your bottle, if you've got children that are developmentally ready, you can almost play a game of I Spy when you're turning the bottle and what you can see in it. You could count how many things are in the bottle that they can see, which is an early maths skill. It's probably worth noting that this is a really good one for communication skills and communication development. So I would recommend making a few of these up. So again, with the process of choosing what you want in each bottle, once you've finished making them, what we're going to do is just again use our good old-fashioned light under the bottom, illuminate them, and do a little bit of visual tracking, because that's again a really good skill if you've got an early developmental or PMLD learner. The illumination will create that extra wow that we always look for on our Wednesday wow sessions. And then you can gauge which bottle children like the most. You could also shake it as well. Again, if you've got learners that are able to do that themselves, that's great. But if you're supporting and in that facilitator role, you can give it a shake, get them to watch that and see if they like the movement of the shake more than the slow. And yeah, just watch for those communication cues, because actually this is a really nice communicative activity to do. So I'm just going to finish up making the third bottle. Another skill that you can do is tearing. So if you've got leaves, again, you're holding and doing some tearing actions. Again, it's isolating those fingers, which is a really good skill for children to do. And again, you've got a posting activity as well with this, because the attention skills and the focus that you need to be able to slot things into slightly smaller holes and things is quite a hard skill to master. So again, it's perseverance building and getting those fine motor, concentration and attention skills up as well, if your child or learner is developmentally ready for that. The other thing I will mention here again is about using a little dark umbrella if you're doing it as a tabletop activity, because it'll just enclose the space and create a bit of artificial darkness if it's hard for you to create a dark space at home. Again, it'll just create that extra level of inquiry in your children or your learners. So I'd recommend putting that up and having a little look at the bottles with a torch under an umbrella as well, just to create a little bit of awe and wonder. So there we have it, our lovely sensory bottles. It's a fantastically versatile activity, this one. You can use it with children with autism that need to regulate and calm down, as well as PMLD learners who need to do some visual tracking and visual therapy and develop their communication responses, and as well those children that need to practice their fine motor or posting skills or recognition and attention skills as well. It really is so versatile. So that's it. I will see you on Friday, ready for a lovely nature themed themed Friday interactive music session. As always, like, comment, subscribe to the Jensory YouTube channel, and do share this with anybody that you think would benefit right now. I will mention again about the Facebook page as well. If you're not following it already, all of the resource lists for all of the activities and videos are on there, so that's worth a follow and a like if you haven't followed it already. I will see you on Friday. Take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you then. Take care, bye.